I don't know what just goes. Something's going on with the camera again. The camera was just working. Hold on. Let's start the camera one more time. There we go. I don't know why the camera keeps cutting out today. Just like the other day. Next thing you know, it's on. It's like the New York Giants. We cut on, we cut off, we cut off, we cut on. It's a quandary wrapped in a riddle. It's a conundrum. I don't know what's going on today. I know what's going on today. It's Return of the King. King of the Almost Sack is back. Leads the league in quarterback hits or pressures. I don't remember which one it was. Zach Attack will tell me down the street. I don't know. But you know what? We are without the chosen one. We are out. Like I said, we are out with the chosen one. But like I said, he's back though. We got to remember.
King of the Almost Sack.
King of the Almost Sack. Like I said, we are making the triumphant return to Seattle. Without Malik. And I've kept saying this over and over again. We listened to the venerable Rod Tidwell.
Quarterback sucks, man. Thanks, man. And get me killed. Just throwing high and across the middle.
It happened, and this was our fear. This was our fear that the chosen one, would not be able to play for a period of time or for a couple of games because Daniel Jones put him in a position, threw the ball to him where he got himself whacked. And he did. Stretching it 4th and 6 or 4th and 8, whatever it was, stretches out to the sideline, does a face plant, gives himself a concussion, even though Devin Singletary was open in front of him for an easier catch and potentially an easier throw. I mean, I don't get it. I don't. And then I see giant social media. I love this. We're going into Seattle with a bunch of practice squad wide receivers. Jalen Hyatt on the team last year. Darius Slayton on the team last year. Wanda Robinson on the team last year. Isaiah Hodgkins on the team last year. If you want to make shit up, why don't you just check the 2023 roster in reference to who's going to be on the 2024 roster for this game? I'm just throwing that out there, guys. I'm just throwing that out there. Mike Lee says, good morning, Tim, fellow religious member. Smash the like button on the way in. Will the stumbling gray fumbler make an appearance today? Well, you have Devin Singletary is doubtful. So usually when a player is doubtful, 98% of the time they don't play. You know, if you're questionable, you usually play. You're probable, you play. You're doubtful, you don't usually play. I don't know if I could deal with the gray ghost. I don't know if I could deal with Tyrone Tracy. You're looking at a game that on the surface is a pretty bad scenario or a pretty bad situation in reference to what the Giants are bringing right now to this team. I don't know. Mike Lee says overplays for Hyatt. Will it be 2 with no? You know what it's going to be? It's going to be overplays to Wan'Dale Robinson. It's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot ad nauseum. 6 yards, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, and you hope that Wan'Dale breaks something. That's what it's going to be. Dennis says Slate needs to step up big time. DJ needs to hit some deep shots. He needs a defensive touchdown and a big play on special teams. Cleveland Indians back in the day used to be Spawn, Insane, and Pray for Rain, which basically meant you had Warren Spawn and you had Zane, the other pitcher, and they were the only 2 guys they had. And then you basically just prayed for rain the other 3 days of the rotation. So the Giants, and I don't agree with you. I don't disagree with you, Dennis. I agree. You need a defensive touchdown. You need big plays on special teams, and you need Daniel Jones to hit Slayton or someone in stride for a touchdown in Seattle against a pretty good secondary. Not the Legion of Boom, but a pretty good secondary. You're asking a lot. And you're asking a lot. They have a pretty good defensive line. They have a pretty good ability to stop the run, which we can't do. Because I've said this before, and I said this when we signed these guys in free agency. They are much better pass blockers than they are run blockers. Ellie Moore Fudd is not a road paver. John Runyon, not a road paver. The only person that you really have you have an undersized center. The only person that you really have that is a road paver is Andrew Thomas. And unless we can clone him and put him on the left and the right, we might have some problems. Is it Slayton not stepping up, or DJ can't hit him, or plain not seeing him? Slayton can't control that. We have gone through 5 years of below average quarterback play by DJ. 5 years and now 4 games, going on 5 games. Joe Rev, good morning all. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, my brother? Emmanuel. Let's go, Mets. Go. Mets with the big win last night. You know, when it was 1-0 and Zach Wheeler, the former Met, was dealing, you got to admit, Zach, if he ever could stay 100% healthy, which he has over the last year and a half, he's got probably one of the best fastballs in major leagues. Outside of Ricky Vaughn, he's probably got the best fastball, the best movement. He's got the best two-seamer as well. And when the Mets were 8th inning 1-0, I thought that was it. I thought, oh, that's 1-0. That's just what it's going to be. And no moral victories, because there's no crying in baseball. And what happens? I'm not even gonna say what happens because I'm not gonna jinx it. I wore the Pete Alonso jersey on the stream again, because the other day I wore the Pete Alonso jersey on the stream again, and they took Game 3 in Milwaukee. So now they're home in New York. They haven't been home like in 16 days or something like that. So had to wear it again. They got the Yankees with a big win last night as well. Giants more off than on. That's about the way you say it. Yankees win, Mets win. Looks like you get the 2000. Well, it's one game, Davey. We got a lot more way to go there. Nice comeback by Miami again last night. We're going to have to talk about Carson Beck as well. Carson Beck was my guy at the beginning of the season. And there was a couple disturbing and I love it because now we have a phrase. There was a couple of Daniel-esque plays, Daniel S. Jones plays that I saw that kind of disturbed me. One was early in the first quarter. Excuse me. One was early in the first quarter. It was third down. I think it was 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9. I don't remember. And Carson Beck had single coverage on the outside. And you could see that the over-the-top safety was playing towards the middle of the field. And the receiver that had single coverage went into motion and came into the slot. And he came into the slot right between the corner and the safety. Now, a smart quarterback, a good quarterback, a quarterback that knew, that understood how to read the defenses would have checked out of that play and moved that wide receiver back to the outside and try to get that single coverage to go one-on-one. And what happened? Zone defense. Nobody open. Got the sack. DJ and Slayton have been together long enough to know what they got to do. I don't disagree, Dennis. I don't. But the problem is this. They never get it done. In 2022, when DJ was the 13th best deep ball passer in the league, 7 out of 13, two of his big plays were to Slayton for his only 2 touchdowns. So the only problem is both of those plays were busted plays by Slayton. One of them, like I said, was in the Texans game, and I was running the sideline when it happened. The DJ almost threw an interception. Slayton somehow came up with the ball, got off the corner, and went like 60. So it's going to have to be DJ is going to have to get the ball down. And this was and I would say that he was about 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, Slayton, on that play. We can't keep relying on 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Our yak is terrible. Your yak makes me want to yak. Dale Jones is not Jewish. I didn't know he was Jewish. Big Blue Forever says, Goof Troop time. Love the mug. Oh, we got someone already spotted the first mug. Yes, I had to put it above the 100th anniversary set you don't see it, it's the Goof Troop. We are the Goof Troop. There we are, the Goof Troop bunking effects. Kevin says, peace, Tim. What's your score prediction for the day? I'm not going to give my score prediction yet, Kevin. Gotta go a little bit here. Greg says, let's go, Mets go. Once Zach came out, they got whacked. Yeah, man, Zach was dealing. How do you not keep him in? Yeah, you got a one. Could you imagine back in the day, the Mets pulling like Tom Seaver, pitching a 1-0 shutout and dealing? Could you imagine them pulling him and saying, you rest, we got you? But nowadays it's like you go 6 and you're like, oh, you need to rest. Zach says, watching the Jets Viking games, I see 2 quarterbacks that can play in the NFL. Darnold has learned. Giants 6 years quarterback has regressed every year since 2020. The question with Sam Darnold is, Zach, is it the coaching staff? Is it a blip in time? Because all athletes, no matter what your sport, have this have this moment in time, have this blip in time where they really find their way. So my question is he a 5-game wonder? Will he go back to what he is? Will he go back to what we've seen him be in the past? I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Is this a Tommy Maddox situation? That's my other question. Is he Tommy Maddoxing this? I don't know. We have to, it's a nice story for Minnesota. It's a bad story for the Jets and the Giants at the moment, because it just gives us this look of an ineptitude. But the question is going to be, can we find a time down the road where we really get this going? Where someone figures out the myth of Sam, we're going to call it the myth. It's like the myth of Bigfoot. It's the myth of Sam Darnold. Will people figure it out? It's going to be a question. Turbo Miller better be in the game over Gray. The turbo is replacing the motor. Turbo Miller. I like Dante Miller because he's fast. But the problem is, if you watched him in training camp, you watched him in preseason, if you're not running a sweep, you're not pitching the ball out to him. And even if you do, if he gets nudged, if he literally gets nudged, he does one of these. Oh no, that's it. There's not much balance in the turbo engine right now. Davey says, I have the Seattle defense on my fantasy team. I need 30 points from them. You think I have a chance? Yeah. Yeah, I think you have a chance. Let's go. I didn't check the Giants Seattle injury report, so I have to check the injury report first. Let's see what the we already know that the injury report is out. So let's double check the injury report for the Giants and the let's see here. We got doubt. We got let's see here. So Adams looks like he's active. We got Dory Jackson Phillips is questionable. We got Neighbors, of course, is out. You still had Brian Burns limited in practice. Devin Singletary, of course, is also limited in practice as well. I'm trying to get the final. Let's see here. Where's the Giants' final injury report here? So let's get to that. I just love people though. The Giants. This is like having a practice squad team and receivers. I just laugh because I'm like, I always think of the comment from Ripley. Did IQs drop sharply while I was gone? Because I don't get it. All right, so Julian Love is questionable. You have the other linebacker questionable. Let's see here. You got a lot of guys that are looks like they're good with limited participation that are going to play. Got a lot of guys that are full participation. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're going to get 30 out of the defense. The Giants have a 0-point chance to win today. The most Giant thing ever is to go and win. I don't think this is a 2021 or 2020 Seattle team. You had Russell Wilson on that team. You had a game from Carter Coughlin, which was supposed to be his coronation into the league because he played so well and he maintained his assignment, and he just kept Russell Wilson in the pocket, which was just dangerous because you didn't allow him to run. And we just, and there was such a brilliant game plan by Jason Garrett where all you do is you knew you had Colt McCoy. So you just ran the ball ad nauseum to the point that you were going to establish the run no matter what. And then, like I said, I was watching the game with my wife and I told her, I said, they're running because they're going to set up a deep shot early in the third. And that's what they did. And also the fact that if Wayne Gallman had a fifth gear, he would have scored that one touchdown sitting and dragged down behind. But that was the problem with Wayne Gallman. I don't see that type of game plan against this team. Geno Smith, I think Russell Wilson in his prime, of course, is better than Geno Smith, but Geno Smith has still proven now over the last couple of years that he is an NFL starter. He's got the smarts. He's got the ability. He has the understanding of the offense. Metcalf is going to get behind this defense. I see 2 deep balls to Metcalf, and I see 2 scores from Metcalf. Davey says, don't forget to let me know your Knicks channel so I can subscribe. Well, the Knicks, it's not going to be a Knicks channel, Davey. The Knicks it's going to be a podcast. It's going to be right here. You're going to catch the episodes right here. It's going to be New York Knicks Unleashed. 3-D was last year. It's going to be New York Knicks Unleashed, the 2024 season. It's going to be a podcast. It's a podcast that's going to be that I'm going to have on this channel. So you just have to come here. The first episode I'm shooting for tomorrow because the Knicks actually have a preseason game in Charlotte tonight. So I'm kind of hoping to see what we get from that. And also I will be at the Knick preseason game on this Wednesday, and going there with Big El Gigante. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do a little sideline reporting from there as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Where did I leave off? I left off at Davey. What's up, Davey? Blackbird says, good morning. I bet King of the Almost Sack gets a sack today. Oh, we can play it today.
King of the Almost Sack.
I love it. We can play it today. I hope he doesn't. I love it, though, because to this day, where do you go, my lovely? I want to know. Oops, I can't get to it. To this day, I still have my King of the Almost Sack. Here we go. I still have my King of the Almost Sack. What is this mouse pad? I don't really need it because I have one of those desks that has like the whatever. It's like mouse pad material on it. But I just love the King of the Almost Sack mouse pad. I was going to sell him, but I got in trouble. So I couldn't sell him. Ravens Derrick Henry is currently the best running back. He is leading the league in rushing. No, I'm gonna still have to go Saquon Barkley. I'm still gonna have to say Saquon Barkley right now is the best running back in the league. I think our old buddy Derek is having a good season. I think he's having a good year. I think he's also being fed the ball basically ad nauseum because of the fact that you have to feed it to Henry. He's got 80 carries. Saquon's got 70. You got what's the game? The one kid, Jordan Mason's got 90. Saquon's got 73 carries. Saquon's got, he has more. He's got one less touchdown, one less 20-yard run. He's got 2 more 40-yard plus runs. Like I said, he is run for more first downs. I mean, like I said, I'm sorry. Derrick Henry is a product of Lamar Jackson. Saquon Barkley literally is carrying the Eagles. The Eagles don't have 2 wins if Saquon Barkley's not on that team. He won that game against Green Bay, and he won that game in New England. I know, in what's called New Orleans. I have the Giants winning today. I'm putting my fan hat on. Aaron Rodgers, pick 6. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. You gotta love Aaron Rodgers. You gotta love the whole Jet situation. You gotta love it, man. I mean, it's just Aaron Rodgers. You feel bad from Aaron Rodgers. Of course, isn't from playing in London today. We have Minnesota already up 10-0. I wish the Giants season was like Madden, so you could jump to the draft. You already want to simulate the season so you can get to the draft. I like that. Davey says any college quarterback. Don't give me Sanders kid. I think he's overrated. I think Sanders kid's overrated as well. And like I said, I watched the whole Georgia game, and I don't know, man. I saw some scouts saying that Carson Beck may be like a maybe like a second to late or early second to early second to maybe third round pick now. I didn't believe it. Then I kind of watched the game. I'm like, I gotta kind of change my opinion now on Carson Beck. Hit that like button, says Big James. Blackbird says Slayton dropped the damn ball. People drop the ball, and Blackbird, you know I love you, but wide receivers drop the ball. And I love it with Giant fans because you would assume that every play for the Giants, when it's a drop ball, that they're the only team in the league that ever in the history of the NFL has ever had a wide receiver drop the ball. It's amazing to me. I'm not making fun of you, Blackbird, but it's amazing to me that you go on Twitter and it's like, well, he dropped the ball. Okay. It's like poor neighbors. You target him 45 times. And you put him in situations where he has to make this difficult catch like 80% of the time. He drops 2 passes. And then people are like, he's not clutch. Both were bad throws. But we like to overlook that. Jeff, what's up, Timmy? Greg says, hit the like button, right? Don't be dumb. Hit the thumb. Ooh, I like that. However, Slayton's best season was out Jones. He can catch the ball from anyone else from Jones. He really can. I mean, poor Slayton to me on a good team is a second to third wide receiver at best. Portions of his Giant career, he was put into that number one mold. And he's just not a number one guy. And then he sat in the doghouse for a while until the Giants figured out, hey, listen, we need a wide receiver. And here he is. Like it was an epiphany back in 2021. It's like, oh no, we need a wide receiver. Where's Darius Slayton? Oh yeah, well, he's still on our team. Guy that had 2 700+ yard seasons and all of a sudden couldn't get on the field, and has had 2 700+ yard seasons after that. Like I said, he's Stephen Baker. That's what he is. He's a good wide receiver. He's not a great wide receiver. He's on a good team. He's maybe a second or a third guy. But on the Giants, he's got to be a first guy. Evan Neal is the only other road player. I'm thinking road paver. Saquon's big rush last year came when Neal was in the game on the right side. I agree. I agree. Davey says, Tim, I know it's game 1, but I get to the 2000 series vibe. There is one of my favorite moments singing We Are the Champions in front of the dejected Met fans. I love it. That was also the steroid era. That was also the era of Roger Clemens going into roid rage and throwing a bat at Mike Piazza. Let's say what it was like. It was all steroids. The Yankees are the king of steroids. You had some of the best steroid players that money could buy. Oh, Tate, Kenny G, Ingram, Tony, even Hyatt caught more balls than he wasn't with Daniel Jones. You're right. You're right. But we don't talk about that because that would just be silly. Don't talk about that, James. Just go look up what Pro Football Focus had ranked on the defense. Yes, James Williams called me yesterday and after the Met win, and he's like, you know what Pro Football Focus has Kayvon Thibodeau ranked in reference to defensive ends, and I think it was like 120. I think it was like 100 out of 122. And I was thinking to myself, well, that's kind of generous. I don't even think I would have him that high. What did Kenny G catch? A cold? Hey-oh. Oh my God, Tim, Daniel Jones can't be the chosen one, but he is. Daniel Jones is. You were the chosen one. Sound effects a little low because I got up late and I couldn't get to make a sound for the soundboard for it, so it's a little low right now. I heard that James Williams is making Casper a remake for Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Boogie Basham. Is Boogie Basham still even on this team? I mean, seriously, is he still on the team? Because You would never guess. Yeah, Tim, just like that. Yep, they were the best steroid team that money could buy. Let's see. The Jets will upset the Vikings. I don't. It's not looking too good right now for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers to me is washed up. I don't want to get into Jet shit, but right now the Vikings are leading the Jets 10-0. Aaron Rodgers deep pass in the middle to McConkley for 25 yards. Right now is the big play. I think he's 5 for 11. Aaron Rodgers has already thrown 2 interceptions in the first quarter. Second quarter. Yeah, I think it was in the first quarter. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. I don't know. I'm not watching the game. Kenny G had a Pro Bowl season in Detroit. Not saying he's Megatron, but he did literally die. He had a Pro Bowl season and 2 1,000-yard seasons. 2. No, see, when you do hand motions, the camera changes. There's a light. I don't know how to fix the camera. Hey, Mr. Roberts was like, hey, Tim, how are you feeling about Milroy? Oops, something failed on the whiteboard. And Ward, I'm ready for either one of those guys. I have to admit, man, I've said this before, and I was talking to James. I was not on the Cam Ward Express. I wasn't a big fan of what he did at Washington State. But then you watch him lead a 25-point comeback over Cal. I mean, the guy is, you know what? And you sit there and you say, is it because he has, 3 soon-to-be Biletnikoff finalists on his team? And, and is he a product of that system? But you came back from 25 points, beat Cal 39-38, threw 50 times, 437 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for another 15, another rushing touchdown as well. So we had 3 total touchdowns, 66% of his passes. I'm starting to like Cam. I'm literally starting to like Cam Ward. I'm not arguing facts. James is not. Is Sam Darnold? We are talking about the bottom with the fallout. Yeah, I Sam Darnold, man. We don't know what the hell's. Jeff, what's up? If Julian Love, Leonard Williams, Xavier McKinney were actually assets to the team, at least we weren't competitive, a complete ghost like Burns and Thibodeau. Just imagine this. If you had a defensive line. Now, we only traded Leonard Williams. Let's be honest.
King of the almost sack.
Let's be honest. We only traded him because of the fact that we had 0 salary cap space and we couldn't sign a quarterback. Imagine if you had Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams in the middle, and I'm not even a Leonard Williams fan, and you did have the likes of Thibodeau and Burns on the outside, and you had behind you starting safeties, Love and McKinney, and then you still had Banks, and you still had Okereke. Yeah, you got a couple spots open in the linebacker position. Your CB2 is weak, but that's one hell of a defense. just saying. I want to be like Chuck Bednarik celebrating the sack over Wyatt Tittle. Wasn't he celebrating the sack over, and it wasn't a sack, but it wasn't when he's celebrating when he laid out to Frank Gifford. You almost forgot he did James Williams. Okay. What was Ron Harris? Here is the right system for his talents. He's in the right system. Oh, for Cam Ward. I'm telling you, man, or Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is in the right system for his talent. You're right. Detroit let him walk for a reason. Yeah, because he had a hip injury. But here's the thing, Blackboard. Detroit let him walk for a reason, but the Giants didn't need to sign him because the Giants were competing against themselves in free agency for him, to the fact that the smooth sounds of Kenny G.
Bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G. $72 million. Not worth it, as you can plainly see.
Kenny G wouldn't leave the building. Kenny G would literally did not want to leave the Giant building. Bigfoot is not a myth. Sasquatch exists. I saw that video from that person. I saw that video, and I'm going to say something about that Bigfoot video. My movie grade life-size Bigfoot in my basement was a better looking Bigfoot than that Bigfoot. I'm saying put turbo on the PR kick returns, not Eric Gray. I don't know. I don't know, man. Everyone we put in the kick returns fumbles. Hey, Tim, what's up, Warren? The Giants can still grab a quarterback in the draft now and still get a replacement and go after Manning in 2 years if he's not any good. Keep telling people Jones is going to be back next year. Even if you draft a quarterback, because the Giants are going to have to eat $23 million. The Giants are going to have to still draft a quarterback, and then they're still going to have to find a bridge quarterback for the rookie. Because I don't think fans in year 4 of Shane and Dable are going to be enthused about having another losing season with a rookie quarterback. Just throwing it out there. Can we get a studio tour video to see all your cool toys? I can't do a complete tour. There we go. Here we go. Let's see here. If you go up the wall, here you go. Okay. If you go up the wall, that's starting from the far right. That's the OBJ signed catch. That's the hat that was given to me by Jason Pierre-Paul in the last game. That is a Malik Willis drawing that was given to me by a fan. That is my USFL poster, which I had framed. There is a old Giant poster over there. There is a signed Plexico Burst next to signed Ahmad Bradshaw. We got everything in the back. We got everything in the back here. There you go. We have the Giants Super Bowl helmet. We got Johnny Bravo. We got Billy D. We got everything back here. We got the Philadelphia Soul anniversary helmet. We got everything. I mean, we got so much shit. Anyone that's been in my house, anyone's been in my mountain cave, I'll tell you. We got the Nestle Quick. Everyone loves the Nestle Quick. We got Sergeant Slaughter over there. Of course, we got Phil Sims, Pillsbury Doughboy, Roddy Piper, Lando Calrissian. We got everything. One day we'll do a complete tour of the. Ooh, look at this. I like this look. Here we go. Ooh, I'm going to keep this look. I like this look because I can have the Goof Troop in the back. Everyone calls us the Goof Troop. So there we go. We got the Goof Troop. He does do an art. Andy's coming. Dom D says, "Hey Tim, can we cut Jones after the season?" Sure, you can cut Jones after the season. You're going to have to. We're going to have to eat some money to cut him, but you can cut Jones. Here we go. Back up a little bit. So we'll do it this way. So we get a. Ooh, I like this look. I like this look. I'm going to go with this look. I look professional. Someone said to me, I don't like your show. I said, because you're a fucking idiot. And they say, no, I don't like your show because you're not professionally produced. Well, no shit, Sherlock. What's up, Charles Barkley? Danny Dimes is about to drop a 30 burger on the Hawks. I hope so. You're not the real Charles Barkley. I laugh because quick Charles Barkley story. I've told this story before. Charles Barkley got in trouble for throwing a guy through the plate glass window in Orlando. And I laugh because we were there. And it was at Church Street Station. And there was it's not there anymore. I don't think Church Street Station's there anymore. And we were walking by, and I love it because one of the guys I was with, Tom, we were walking by, and he goes, "Hey, that's Charles Barkley." And there were like these stores and bars that it looks like back then it looked like a train station. So you had all these plate glass windows because of these stores and all these other bars and stuff. And he goes, "That's Charles Barkley." And I turn around and go, "Hey, that is Charles Barkley," just in time to watch Charles drop a guy through a plate glass window. How's the dog been doing? Dog's good. He's a little crazy. He's a little annoying, but he's good. Zack Attack says Giants won 6 games with the same 3 wide receivers as Tyrod Taylor and Danny DeVito. I love that though. I go, like I said, I go on Twitter and people are like, "Oh my God, we're using practice squad wide receivers." I'm thinking to myself, Slayton, Hyatt, Wandale Robinson, and Isaiah. These 4 guys were all on the team last year and played. The only person that you don't have is Neighbors. Van Gronkle pick 6 around the second interception in the first quarter. Yes, Blackbird Detroit let Kenny G go like the Panthers let us take Brian Burns off their hands. Davey says the only team needs 2 players on their team, Amani Toomer and O.J. Anderson. If we had those players on this team, Tommy DeVito would look like an all-star. No. Tommy DeVito is not an NFL quarterback. Can we just admit that he's not a quarterback? He's not an NFL quarterback. Enough with the excuses. This team is bad, period. I don't think the team is bad. And I think the Giants, we've said this before, are a collection of players. They're not a philosophy. They are a cut and paste team. That's all they are. They are a cut and paste team. We've taken talent and we've cut them out from other places, and we're trying to paste them into a system that they do not fit in. Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau are, to me, are not Shane Bowen type players. Shane Bowen has never coached a good secondary outside of the 2 years with Jim Schwartz. We've talked about this. You got an offensive line that is now predicated to defending or blocking for the pass while limiting themselves versus the run. And while you are fixating on the pass, you went out and got a guy that's a deep ball threat who is average catch, yards per catch, not as yak, where he's catching the ball in the field is 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and he only has a 4.4 yard yak. That's Malik Neighbors, which tells me Daniel Jones is not putting him in the position to make the big play. He's only got one reception for 38 yards, I believe is his longest, or 39 yards, which is his longest reception. So that tells me that Daniel Jones is not putting the ball in a position for there anything to be after the catch. And you're only throwing to Malik Neighbors on average 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage. So you went out and got a pass blocking line. You went out and got a deep threat, all for a quarterback who can't throw deep. You got two defensive ends on a system that is usually a four-man rush, or their pass rush is predicated on a four-man rush. And at times you like to drop your ends in the coverage, and neither player is athletic enough to do that full time. And then you have two rookies starting in your secondary, and you have one linebacker, and McFadden is okay. But McFadden, like I said, we talk about, well, remember that play where he had like 12 tackles? Yeah, they also ran the ball like 48 times. So if I run the ball 48 times, I am expecting people in the Giants defense to have high tackle percentages because they're running the ball so many times. It's a cut and paste team that people just don't get. I'm messing with you, brother. It must be the Blackbird thing. Say it ain't so, James. Zach says, I have an odd feeling the Giants win today somehow. I don't think this is a trap game. I don't think this is a trap game for Seattle. I think Seattle's coming off that bad Monday night loss. They have a short week.
It's a trap.
I don't think it's a trap for Seattle. I don't. I just don't think the Giants are good enough or have a good enough assortment of players to win this game. Vinny G says, Timmy, I hope I'm wrong because I'm a fan. I think the Giants, I was going to smoke the Giants 31-13. Davey says, so do you have any Nick memorabilia? I am looking for a Randall. I'm looking for Brunson rookie. I do have, I have a number 30 of Bernard King autograph jersey around here. Yeah, I do have Nick's paraphernalia. It's actually over there. Yes, I do have some signed autograph jerseys. And I got my Amari Stoudemire jersey over there. I have my Ewing jersey over there. I have my Mark Jackson. I have my Brunson. I got there's anyone that's been to this house knows the mess that is in the man cave. More sacks, Leonard Williams, or combination of the Ghost Twins. I think Leonard Williams might have more sacks. I love the king of the almost sacks soundbite. So do I miss it. Matthew says, good morning, Tim. Good morning, OBB family. Blackbird Henry says, I had one rush for 87 yards. Drop Glenn had 10 rushes for 84 yards. Yes, he did. So basically what you're saying to me, Henry had all of his yards basically on one play. Saquon averaged 8 yards a carry. Okay. Can you change this to the New York Knicks live stream? Yeah, it's the New York Knicks live stream. No, I haven't even made I'm so behind on getting everything ready for the podcast tomorrow. I was supposed to work on the Knicks podcast last night and I didn't get a chance to. Y'all know Derek, old college team, laid an egg versus Vanderbilt. Wow, the mighty have fallen. Yeah, they really have. I don't know if Henry fits the Ravens scheme. Henry fits the Ravens scheme 100%. Derrick Henry is a perfect fit for the Ravens scheme. Look at the running backs that they have had before Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson, then I'll wait. DJ without Neighbors is about to be exposed. It's going to be ugly. He's already been exposed. He might finally get benched. Can you imagine this scenario as you hit the like button? Can you imagine this scenario? Daniel Jones, let's not say he gets hurt. Let's say he's just playing poorly. Gets benched for Drew Lock. Let's say the Giants are down 24-17. He gets benched for Drew Lock. Drew Lock comes in, pushes the ball down the field, scores a touchdown, gets a 2-point conversion, Giants win. Hey, Tim, will the Giants lose to the Yeah, I believe they're going to lose today. I am not a big fan of Sanders. I don't like his attitude, and when he plays against good teams, he actually doesn't play well. I've said that for a week now. Not that I'm against Sanders, but I think he's got talent, but he's got this attitude. He's got this Josh Rosen attitude I don't like. He's got the Deion Sanders moniker, which I don't like, which is not going to fit well in New York if you don't play well, because if you become sullen like that as a rookie, you're going to get run out of the city. And he does play to his competition at times. He plays to his competition at times, unless it's good competition, unless it's a good team. Like I said, he had a good game against UCF, but I was not overly impressed because when you just try to force a ball into Travis Hunter, that's not really being a quarterback. I'm probably just overreacting, but I'm just tired of seeing DJ. I'm tired of it too. 1 TD would have won the Dallas game. Yeah, 1 TD would have won the Dallas game. Yeah. Bill Parcells said it best. And I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. Teams do not lose on one play. When you have a play at the end of the game, like the Neighbors 4th and 8, which was the drop, which it wasn't a drop, it was a bad throw. People are like, well, Neighbors cost us the game. You don't lose a play on one game. Parcells said it best. There are 5 or 6 plays throughout the game that lead you to that one play. If you convert on a couple of those plays, you are never getting to that play at the end. And I've said this a million times before, and I'm not the one that came up with it. Football is not played between the 20s. You drive for show, you putt for dough. You get in the red zone, you need to score touchdowns. That's it. That's your plan. You need to score touchdowns. Field goals don't cut it in this league. For Blackbird to come out and say, well, he was one touchdown would have won that game. If we would have scored 28, you know what, Blackbird, you're right. If we would have scored 28 points against Minnesota, we would have won that game too. Drew Lock revenge game. I like that. Breaking news. We have a Kayvon sitting on a commercial. Ooh, he's sitting on a commercial. Haya is still in the doghouse. He is. Fun fact, Roger Clemens' son plays on the Philadelphia Phillies. I did not know that. You want to know why? Because I don't care. Mega Supreme, let's go Yankees. Congratulations to the Mets fans. Let's flog the Subway Series. I would love to have a Subway Series. I'd be so ecstatic for a Subway Series. Big Don says, how about those Orangemen and Kyle McCord, man? I told Big Don all year long, man, Syracuse has got something. This Kyle McCord kid is really good. Don just didn't believe me. Blew me off all the time. So you're saying Daniel Jones is not the guy? No, he's not the guy. Don't hate the New York Yankees, Tim. You sound like a typical sour Met fan. Clemens was juiced. The Yankees embarrassed the Mets at home. Gloat now, but the Yankees were a better team in all aspects. Yeah, hold on. Oh, no, you inject steroids in your ass. You want to know why? Because Clemens is an ass. He was all juiced up. He was a hophead. Half your team was full of hopheads. You have Ivan Drago over here in the Yankees in that series, and you got Apollo Creed over here for the Mets. We all know what happened. If he dies, he dies. Jeff says, since this is not a highly regarded quarterback class, would you prefer taking a quarterback in the first round? This way, it's a shot, but an investment, so you need to try in following years. Here's the problem, Blackbird. Here's the problem, Jeff. sooner or later, you got to take a quarterback. Joe Shane can't, if Joe Shane is given a 4th draft, and remember this, since 7-2, the Giants are like, and I love it because when I do this with my hand, it moves everything. So the Giants are, since that 7-2-1 season, are like, since that 7-2 start at his first year, the Giants are what, 8-20-1 or 8-21-1? That's not good. You're right. My Yankees were juiced. So was the Mets. You remind me that the pizza delivery catcher you had, and he wasn't juiced. There was no proof that he was juicing. There was no proof. There was tons of proof that the Yankees were chemically enhanced. That's all I'm saying. Bama losing. The Vandy was funny. I didn't care. That was just one of those things. And it was Cal. Okay. You're right. You're right. Let's see. Blackbird says, I'm not a baseball fan. Yankees are good or trash. I thought they were good at one point. I think the Yankees are a good team. I just think the Yankees are always a good team. Don, what happened to Syracuse? Tough loss. I don't know though, man. That Kyle McCord kid, though, James, you can't bash him. I'm a Canes fan. I would love to see him with the Giants. Like I said, I'm starting to go towards the Cam Ward. I'm starting to head down to the Cam Ward train like everybody else here. I like the Goof Troop. I like having the Goof Troop. Why is the camera still moving? I don't know. Camera's still moving. I like having the Goof Troop in the background. Roger Clemens was juiced. Steroids don't improve your control as a pitcher. They are pure talent. Stage was unjuiced. The rest of the Yankees were not juiced. So stop with the lies and the hate. Juiced. Do you want me to go through the Yankees roster about who was juiced in that series? You want me to go through that? We're trying to talk Giants here. But do you want me to talk about that game 2 in that 2002 series? Should we go there? That 2000 series, I should say. Should we go there? I'm gonna go the juice heads on because Logic wants to bring this up. I'm gonna go to the juice heads on the Yankees in that series. You ready? Martinez, juiced. O'Neill, juiced. Jose Canseco. People forget the king of the juice was on this team with Roger Clemens. Did we forget that? Jose was the one to explain everyone. Jose came out and said that all the Yankees were juiced. They're the best mechanic. They're the best and chemically enhanced team that money could buy. Well, good morning, James, by the way. Matty Ice. Steroids don't give you talent. It keeps you on the field. That's why there's so many injuries now. Steroids also enhance your ability to hit the ball and give you the power. It also helps with your reflexes. It also helps your body. I love when people say, and I'm not defending Matthew or anyone or steroids or anything, but of course they say steroids help you recover faster. But what do they help you recover faster from? Workouts. They also allow you to increase your body mass, your size, your strength, your speed. And we're talking anabolic steroids. We're not talking about the steroids from the 70s. We are talking about steroids that were enhanced in the laboratory to make you are the $1 billion man. You are the bionic man. You are stronger, faster, better than you were. Look what happens to players that come off the juice. Brady Anderson, 50 home runs, never hit more than 18, I think, in a season with those Orioles that year. Came off the juice, went back to 12. There's too many. Barry Bonds, the king of the juice heads, literally to the fact that his head turned into the size of a watermelon and lost all of his hair. While he was a good player, an MVP with Pittsburgh, those latter years, juicing up, made him hit the ball 14 and a half miles. It's not steroids, guys. It's anabolic steroids. All the Yankees are juice heads. Xavier McKinney should be on this team. He should be. C. Sanders, good morning, guys. What's up, Mr. Sanders? How you doing today? Let's see here. Logic's finest. I've been a Yankee fan since 1976. Hope we are your lady and doing great. Salute, sir. Zach Attack says, would you take Geno Smith or Daniel Jones? Now I would take Geno Smith. I would take Geno Smith now and twice on Sunday. Because Geno Smith, I don't know what's in the water in Seattle. I don't know. Maybe it's the anabolic steroids in Seattle. But this guy has gone from the Jet days to only throwing 700 yards that first season in Seattle to 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 3,620 touchdowns. And now he's already completing 72% of his passes for over almost 1,200 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's figured it out. He's like I said, I don't think he's Sam Darnold, but I think he's figured it out. Subway Series, the rematch. Let's go, Mets go. Nobody wanted to give Danny G that type of money but us. I know, that's what I'm saying. Kenny, he did not want to leave the building. Kenny G did not want to leave the building. He literally did not want to leave the building because he knew he wasn't getting a deal elsewhere. The Giants love competing against themselves with free agent Jones, Kenny G, Runyon. I'm noticing a trend. Giants also love to overpay for free agents. John says, bring me on, Tim. All right, I'm going to bring you on a minute. Hold on here. Oh, that's a long day. There you go, Big Don. I'll put that in the chat there. What's up, Petro? How you doing, my brother? How's everything going? Jones will definitely be back. Jones is going to be back next year. Jones is going to be back. For those that do not know, I'm going to throw a pitch. I'm going to throw out a little thing there. October 28th, Monday night, Steelers vs. Giants. I'm doing a live stream from the Shannon Rose Bar and Restaurant in Clifton, New Jersey, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are in the tri-state area, it's an away game. They're playing in Pittsburgh. We should be 0-1-7 by then. Come down to the Shannon Rose Bar and Restaurant in Clifton, New Jersey at 7 p.m. I'm going to be doing the stream for that hour and 15 minutes before the game starts. And then we're going to do a play-by-play through halftime, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll see what the game ends up. But that's going to be October 28th, Monday night, with Steelers vs. Giants, Shannon Rose Bar and Restaurant in Clifton, New Jersey at 7 p.m. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Why they want me, I got no fucking clue. But you know what? It's just, I don't know. Big Tim. You too, my best, my family. Of course, Logic's fine. You know I'm just busting your chops. I would rather have Chad Powers than Daniel Jones. T-Buzz, hit the like button. Did you? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. Let's see. Peter says, would you take Tyrod back on a one-year deal after drafting the quarterback and then have a rookie? No, because Tyrod will then be another year older. Tyrod, to me, is not a guy who can play 15 games. I don't think he's a guy who can play 10 games. And he's at the end of his career. So, no, I need someone that can come in and be somewhat competitive and try to get some wins. I would eat the big heaping dead cap and roll with DeVito as my bridge. I don't care. Get the curse. Daniel Jones off this team. We've said this before. It's not the Daniel Jones curse.
This place is cursed.
It's the Eli Manning curse. It's the Eli Manning Geno Smith curse that is affecting this team right now. We said this in the past. Daniel Jones is not the curse. What you did to Eli Manning has cursed this team, and I find it weird and interesting at the same time that the Giants won on the same weekend that Eli Manning was put on the ballot for the NFL Hall of Fame. The Giants won that weekend. And we have not won since. James, what you talking about? What you talking about, James? Blackbird says, where's your Daniel Jones poster? I used it to wipe my ass. I was a Reggie Jackson's first home run at the Yankee Stadium, 1977. Chilly day it was. Reggie, he was juiced. T-Brad says we need an Angry Black Man segment after every loss, stating James, a.k.a. Daniel Jones, hater number one. Let's make it happen. I haven't had a chance. I have been remiss that I've been neglecting my sound effects in reference to creating new ones. And I actually have I'm not done yet. because I'm in the Beats Lab, but I have 2 James William Angry Black Man segment sound effects coming up. I have his what is going to be his introduction to the show, and then I have like just a soundbite, like King of the Almost Sec. We have an James Williams Angry Black Man sound effect as well. Why do people think Sanders is overrated? He has no line to run for his life most of the game, and he still plays at a star level. Because you got to look at the competition. What happened when he went up against Nebraska? And Nebraska just barely beat Rutgers yesterday. So you got to look at who he's playing against. And I always say you can't fault the player for playing who's the teams that are on his schedule. But when you finally get what I like to refer to as a Division I team, not that UCF wasn't a Division I team, but you get a good Division I team and you can't win against and I think Nebraska's defense is good. I don't think Nebraska's defense is great. And look what happened to Nebraska. What does Mr. Bruce say? I picked the Seattle defense in fantasy football weeks. So how much confidence I have in the Giants today? We talked about this before and it was funny because someone brought this up on the stream a couple weeks back, that they were literally just going to pick whomever the Giants play, the other team's defense. I thought that was a great plan. Davey says, I don't like most of the shows that are professionally produced. That is because they are fake. Yeah, the people say that this show isn't professionally produced. Look, I got sound effects. You know, we got. So, you know what? This is what I got to say to people who don't think the show is professionally produced.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.
Right, because this show is professionally produced. See that? Look at that. That was professionalism. That was professionalism at its finest. Keith Elias at Rutgers, Felipe Sparks. Yep. What do we got? Johnny ABA says Shane wanted to look smart and have a quarterback fall to him. He lacked the conviction to go up and grab. He lacked the conviction to go up and going. If DJ does come back in 2025 with a rookie quarterback, what a circus this will be. It's going to be a circus. It's going to be a shit show. But we're already in the middle of a shit show. We're in the middle of a 1-3 shit show. I hope to God they win today. I really do. But the problem is this. The Mets are on at 3. And the Giants are on at 4 something. It's gonna be a rough call to see whom I want to have on that big screen. I don't know. It's gonna be rough. We have the ultimate Syracuse Orange Man fan going all the way back to when they were once good. Not like they are now. Couldn't even beat UNLV, whose quarterback left because of the fact that he wasn't getting his money. He just decided, I don't want to play anymore. And they got beat by a backup quarterback.
What do you mean? Syracuse beat UNLV. What are y'all talking about?
I know. I just want to bust your chops.
I'm so tired of James. When I seen James say that, I was like, man, James really wanted to be black. And I'm a very nice person.
He was just buzzing. We were just busting your chops about that. Actually, Syracuse had a big win. It was a good game. I actually was texting you during the game.
Yeah, I've seen that. Quinn Allen, baby. I told you. I'm like, give that man the rock.
I mean, you guys got yourself a quarterback. I don't think he's more in a second, third rounder, or even that in the draft. But
I don't even know if he goes that high.
I would say he could go in this draft with these quarterbacks. I think McCord could go late second, early third.
Yeah, I mean, they did beat 2 top 25 teams.
That's exactly where I was about to say. He did beat 2 top 25 teams right now. Do I think you always have that quarterback that's kind of like that weird quarterback that falls or rises in the draft. I think it might be like Sam Hartman. I thought coming out, it should have came out before he went to the transfer portal because I thought he would have been a late first rounder. But at 6'3", 200 and something pounds, McCord is, like I said, he's completed.
He's a big boy.
He's already thrown 240 times. He only threw 348 times the entire last year. He's got 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions only. I mean, the guy's got some skills, man. The guy coming over from where did he come over? Was he at
Wait, which position?
No, didn't McCord come over from Ohio State?
Oh yeah, McCord from Ohio State.
I didn't know. I couldn't remember what team he came over from. So, I mean, he came over from a big time program, so he's got the skills to pay the bills. So,
Well, he left because when Will Howard was coming in, they basically they were like, yeah, you're gonna have to fight for your starting job, and McCord was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not fighting a freshman for my starting spot.
So enough of the Kyle McCord love. What do you want to talk about Giants? What's today's win? What's the wine total look like in Dallas?
Holy sugar nuggets. We haven't had trucks come in, so my store's been empty, my guy. Like I've been busy. A lot of mamas been needing their wine, so these been coming through for that.
So what do you think happens today at 4:30?
Oh gosh. Well, the good news is we don't have to worry about DJ killing neighbors. So that's a plus right there. That is a huge plus. We don't have to worry about him killing neighbors this game. So that's a win.
He already did it.
Well, so the question becomes then who's going to be the next victim? Because, like you said, Wando Robinson doesn't. He's our little 3 yards and keep moving, which throws us off. And everybody kept talking about high. I mean, we were talking about high earlier in the season. Expectations. We were like, once he learns how to get off the goddamn line and doesn't get bullied, he could be a deep threat. But is he in the doghouse? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand it. We have the same offensive coordinator and everything.
I think he's literally built his own doghouse, and he's just sitting there. He's got the flat screen. He's got the couch. He's got the cooler. I think he's built his own doghouse because I don't understand. Dave always talks about we have packages for Hyatt. We got packages.
Yeah, practice. It's a practice package.
In 5 games, I think he's only played in 18% of the offensive snaps.
What is?
So I don't think there's many packages we have for this young wide receiver.
You know what? I'm honestly at this point, just throw your hands in the air and just enjoy the ride because we already talked about this before. Just take your hands off the steering wheel. Drink a 40, turn the lights off, drive at midnight, go 80 miles per hour, and go woo, because that's how it feels right now.
Listen, not me, man. I got the Knicks. I got the Mets.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, Tim. That's what I had to talk to you about. Your Mets, because I'm a Yankee fan. Question: who's your farm team?
What do you mean? Who's our farm team?
Who are the New York Mets farm team? Like, who is your AAA affiliate?
Who is the farm team? It's good. You're gonna tell me it's something in Yankee land. I know that. I know that it's they're. Oh no! Fuck! They're not the Tidewater Tides. They're up in Syracuse.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Because they're still in Binghamton and they're still in Brooklyn with their high A team.
Yeah, that which threw me off because the Yankees have never been affiliated with Syracuse because we have the Nationals, then we have the Blue Jays, and now we're with the Mets, which is hilarious because I love the orange and blue. I got to give me a Syracuse AAA jersey just so I can rep it with the big old Cuse in the middle.
I like to better when we're in Virginia with the Tidewater Tides.
Tagwater. Well, I'm sorry, Tim. Money's a little tight, so they're bringing it back home.
Yeah,
but good news is, rumor mill, my teenage cousin, came up for a visit for Syracuse University. So he might be thinking about going and playing there to be like his daddy.
Oh, there we go. So we got a little Syracuse information, which nobody cares about.
What did I tell you? If we have a Syracuse player, we win championships. We go over this every time. Every Super Bowl, we've had a Syracuse player. We've won.
That's like saying every year we've had a player that played in college.
No, it isn't because first of all, Syracuse is in a very small group of players that have Hall of Famers in the NFL. Okay, we're top 5, baby. Top 5. Anyway, let's get away from that. Here's my problem, Tim. You have to help me with this.
All right.
So we let go of Saquon Barkley because he can't do anything. He dances in the pocket all the time. He can't catch to save his life. He doesn't take the big hits. He falls when he touches. He can't catch the ball. I looked at our running backs. Weren't we supposed to be like 4 running backs? We're supposed to equal him because he wanted too much money.
Well, yeah, because you didn't want a $40 million quarterback handed off to a $12 million running back.
Well, that's crazy. Isn't a similar quarterback handing the freaking ball off to him and he's producing? But remember, Tim, it's the offensive line. It's the offensive line. I'm like, well, that's interesting that you said that because all the other previous running backs aren't doing what he's doing. So, is it really? It helps. It definitely helps. Man, I just can't wait till that Barkley game versus us. I'm sorry. I'm torn.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of Syracuse love here before I let you go. Where did Tom Coughlin go to college?
Syracuse.
Where did David Tyree go to college?
You already know Syracuse, baby. Wide receiver number 87. Let's go. Don't play with me.
Those are the big names. Those are the big giant names. Unless you want Ryan Nesbitt, or whatever his name is, Naismith.
Hey, he did pretty well in college. He just couldn't do squat in the NFL.
He just couldn't play in the pros. But outside of the likes of where did Will Allen go to college?
Will Allen from my high school, and he went to Syracuse University.
Syracuse University. But those are the big names that went to Syracuse University, unless you go all the way back to Larry Zonka. And,
Marvin Harrison just got inducted. I'm pretty sure there's a certain linebacker / defensive end that's about to be.
Giants.
Giants history. Yeah, we gotta go back. We gotta go way back.
We had Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, was I even born yet?
Jim Brown was a better lacrosse player at Syracuse than he was a football player.
Oh yeah, Jim Brown was a monster. Track field. What was it? Track and field, lacrosse, football, and he lettered in 4.
He lettered in 4 sports. I forget what the other one. I think the other one was rowing. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there.
A black guy rowing a boat. Oh gosh, Tim.
Hey.
I'm sorry. All right, Tim, I'm gonna let you go. It was great talking to you as always, brother.
All right, Big Don. I will talk to you later, my brother. Text me later. Text me during the game so we can laugh. So we can have a laugh.
Definitely will, and cry.
All right, brother. I will talk to you later. T-Rad says, "Juan, are you crazy? Jones throws it to the other team all the past times. He does. He likes to do that. What do we got here? Mr. Bruce says, but Tim, you got to wear one sport. You can't wear a Giants hat and a Mets jersey. Well, I'm wearing a Giants hat, a Mets jersey, and a Black Rifle t-shirt. So I'm all types confused. I agree on Sanders. He's very talented, but he's a risk the baggage he already has. I'm not a Cam Ward is the one quarterback I would take. Like I said, I was so set on Carson Beck at the beginning of the season. But, like I said, I tell people this, I usually don't start really making a dive at a quarterback until we get 8 games into the season, because then you have this much bigger body of work. And, as I'm watching more and more of Carson Beck, I'm kind of like, there's a lot of things I don't like now. There's a lot of the bloom has come off the rose. Tim, as Ivan Drago said to Apollo Creed, like 2000 Yankees said, you will lose. Yeah, because Ivan Drago was juiced up on anabolic steroids. Logic 20 says, there you go again with lies. Tim Clemens was juiced. The rest of the team did not look juiced. One pitcher, 25 men. Wasn't Jose Canseco on that team? Wasn't Canseco on that team? That's already 2 out of 25. There's a bunch of other guys juicing up. The Yankees or the Dallas Cowboys that are no great in the regular season just blow it in the postseason. Yes, please tell me he was juiced. He was juiced. A-Rod wasn't a steroids, and Joji. I love this one. A-Rod wasn't on steroids, and OJ didn't do it. And I'm a Yankee fan. Oh, my God. O'Neal was not juiced. He was juiced. He was juiced. Paul O'Neal was juiced. Just telling you. He was. He even came out against steroid users in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because he was trying to send a clear and focused message that I'm juiced. Joe must go. Brady Anderson. I have his rookie card. That's about what it's worth. Cam Ward is definitely my number one quarterback. You all better lower your expectations. You will not get Cam Ward, unfortunately. James, why? Ray Ordonez was juiced. If Ray Ordonez was juiced, they need to change it from anabolic steroids to tomato juice. Go to the bar and have a great time. Yeah, go to the bar. So we got a lot of people coming out. Armando Benitez was juiced. He also played for the Yankees. Barry didn't take steroids. He took a mixture of flaxseed oil and vitamins. Barry Bonds never failed a drug test. He just got put on 30 pounds of muscle, and after 35 years, age broke all types of records. T-Brad loves it. We're just having a good time here. It's already a circus. We're already going down. He's not black. He's not black. Tim, no, I can't give the Giants a win today. I have a Seattle defense. I need 30 points from the defense. Kyle McCord is better than Daniel Jones. That's like saying garbage is better than trash. Hey-o, Davey, I think Randall Cunningham belongs in the Hall of Fame. I can't put Randall Cunningham in the Hall of Fame because you were one of the best at being the first at something, which kind of what Randall Cunningham was in regards to the abilities of running quarterback and a running quarterback who could actually throw the ball. He really only had a couple good seasons. I don't agree with Kurt Warner being in Hall of Fame. James, I see that in the Bo story. I bet you are definitely going to watch the Giant game. James, take Monday off. Wandale tore his ACL his rookie year, falling into someone on the staff. I don't trust Wandale Hyatt. I would trust more if they actually used him. Let's see here. Tim, sorry, but in the USSR, steroids were legal. So Drago was legal. You'll lose. Joe Rav said, I just want to get this out of the way. Seahawks 34-1. Defensive touchdown. Giants 9. Well, you're giving us 9 points. Look, see, this is how professional this show is. I move. The camera moves with me. Because I don't know how to turn off the tracking. I literally do not know how to turn off the tracking. How do you turn on? What is this button here? Tracking. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. I figured it out. I remember somebody who does draft content compared Beck to Jones before the season started. So I've been out on Beck since the beginning. Carson Beck, man. I feel bad for Carson Beck. James, where are you at? You want to come on for a minute? Are you around, James? Because I can't stay late today. I got stuff to do today. I got Halloween decorations to put up today. Let's see here. Put it in your score now. Put in your scores now. Let's get our scores in here. I'm sitting here looking at the Giants going. I think Giants lose this 27-10. I think we're going to see the old Daniel Jones. I think the pass rush is going from Seattle is going to get to Daniel Jones. I think we are going to reach kind of a pinnacle where this just doesn't, we're not going to be able to run. We're not going to be able to throw. We're going to drop the Legion of Boom, which is not even Legion of Boom anymore. It's like the Legion of Boom. But I do think if you got the likes of Julian Love and some other people in the game without the injuries, I do think the Giants are going to lose this one. Evan says 24-10. Also, we got the Seahawks for Seahawks. Mike Lee's got 27-12 Giants. We got the Pete Throw coming in going 31-9 Seattle Seahawks. And we got the T-Brad coming in and saying, what?
What's going on, people? What's going on?
What's your score prediction, my brother? What's the score prediction?
31-16.
We got 3 31s in a row. We got Petro at 31-9. We got Greg at 31-3. And we got you having Seattle. So you're saying that the Giant defense is not going to be capable enough of stopping Kenneth Walker III.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of sack dancing. I think first of all, they got a really nice running back with Walker and Charbonnet, great wide receivers. And who are we covering? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Who are we covering?
Well, I think they got some injuries at the tight end position right now.
Linebacker.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe they drop an extra safety on the field because they're not going to cover the tight end.
Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Metcalf, good running game.
I've already said that Metcalf is going to, I think, will get behind this defense at least twice.
Or over.
No, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to go.
No, it'll be a couple Moss plays over there. Maybe our defensive backs will be there. But I'm very interested to see Banks because I'm a little bit disappointed in Banks this year. But at the same time, we were relying on $100 million in help in pass rush, so he wouldn't have to cover as long. And that's not his fault. But I'm interested to see how because as he's a physical cornerback, I want to see how he can deal with probably the most physical wide receiver in the league.
Now you have people that are saying they're a little disappointed in Banks, and it's not just you. I've heard this from a couple people, and I've heard this before that. He let some plays get behind him. He's given up some big catches, but if you actually look at his coverage on some of those catches, the coverage wasn't bad. It's just you're going up with likes, you got Lamb, and I can't remember who the other pass play was on. I mean, the coverage wasn't horrible. It wasn't like he got burnt like Elvis Patterson. He didn't turn into toast. He just didn't make the play on the ball, but it was also not horrible coverage. I can't get on the kid his second year for having really no one at the CB2 position and really only not even having any quality safeties, being kind of hung out to dry against a lot of times the best player. And then, like I said, the plays that he hasn't made, it's not like he was 30 yards off the ball and the guy was behind him. It was a lot of his touchdowns were pretty tight coverage.
But I was looking for him to more or less imprint himself on the game, like be that force back there. And he just hasn't been that yet. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying anything close to that. Yeah. I'm just saying, I guess I had unrealistic expectations of him being better earlier. That's all.
Right.
That's all. And again, maybe if that pass rush played as much as they're played as well as they're paid, we'd be somewhere. Because that was the big thing in the offseason for the Giants. Who do I want to go? Faithful, who just believe everything they hear from Giants media and just blindly follow. Those people, they're like, oh my God, that pass rusher. Oh my God, we're going to have Burns on one side, Thibodeau on the other side. Quarterbacks aren't going to be able to. It's going to be crazy. They're going to get after him all the time. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening.
I mean, and I just want to throw something out to Logic's finest. Roger Clemens, Denny Nagel, Jason Grimsley, Andy Pettit, Chuck Nablott, Mike Stanton, David Justice were all accused and not indicted, but were all accused of using anabolic steroids. And most of them were proven to be using anabolic steroids. That was on the 2000
allegedly.
And Jose Canseco. So he said there was only one guy. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys out of that 25-man roster that allegedly were using anabolic steroids.
As a non-baseball fan, I wanted to say the steroid years were the most entertaining years. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
so bring them back. Bring them back. Let's just.
As a baseball fan, I will tell you this: some of the best years were the steroid years.
Yeah, let's just make it exciting. Make baseball great.
Makes baseball great. Listen, when you can score more runs in a Yankee game than the Giants score the entire game against Seattle, I'm down for that.
Yeah, people at the bar like, hold on, man, Barry Bonds up the bat. Yeah. It was just fun. It was fun to watch. I have to say.
I do think it was a lot more fun to watch for non-fans, the home runs.
Yes. Hey, Tim, you were talking about Beck earlier. You remember I texted you, I said, yo, he's playing like Daniel Jones. Even though he had a great comeback against Georgia, he was anything that looks like Daniel Jones in a game of high pressure, I don't want it. No, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was watching that game yesterday, and you were right. I even thought to myself, there are so many Daniel Jones-esque plays. And I do think that's going to be a new term in the NFL where he's playing like a Daniel Jones. And I
you won't get months in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at some of these plays and I'm like, he's not checking out. He's definitely on that third down play early in the first quarter. I was like, how does he not see he's got man-to-man coverage on the other side, but he's still allowed the man to go in motion and then actually come back into the middle of the field and then park himself between the corner and the safety. And you could see the way they were lined up. It was going to be a zone. It's
Right,
like, why didn't you check out of that play? And why did you just send your wide receiver back to the other side? And instead, what happens is everyone he fell into this zone defense. Everyone was covered, and he took the sack.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "That's a Daniel Jones-esque play."
You can just see it. You can just see it. He definitely brought it together the second half. His big plays and stuff. He got it together, and then he had good Daniel Jones moments, which we can count on maybe one hand.
That's the problem. Daniel Jones has moments, and then people are like, "Well, see how great he is." It's like, well, okay, there's 55 offensive snaps, and when he's great for one, I'm not sure what the percentage is on that, but I think that's a pretty low percentage. I'm not sure.
It's like the little Giants. One time. Yeah, that's when you think about Daniel Jones' positive moments, like one time. Not that he's only had one moment, but his bad moments definitely outnumber his good moments by a lot.
But I would say by quite a bit. Even Petro agrees with me. Banks covered so well, he just has to finish the plays. Yeah, I think that's, like I said, that's why I'm not disappointed with Banks, because of the fact, like I said, if it would have been more like the fact that he was getting burned and wide receivers were getting 5-yard separation off the play, then I'd be like, hey, okay, there's something wrong here, because they're creating the separation, and he's going to have to use his makeup speed to try to get back into the play. No, he's actually been on the ball. It's just he's gone up against some pretty good guys that are, like I say, when you're an NFL caliber like Justin Jeffries and Lamb, you're gonna probably lose on the defensive end more than you're gonna win. That's just my. Greg Watson, wasn't Rafael Palmeiro on the team as well? No, he wasn't on the team. We're just busting out all the Yankees fans.
I'm surprised you don't have that do the right thing soundbite. Best pitcher in the game, Dwight Gooden. Oh, and they go back and forth.
I'll have to add that sound effect. I actually just watched the 30 for 30 Doc and Daryl thing they have on ESPN, which I thought was kind of interesting. If you haven't seen that, I think people should go out and watch that. Evan says, I don't like Carson Beck since week 1. Your guy is Cam Ward. Is that your guy still?
Yes.
Why?
I am.
Why?
Because he's black. No. First of all, between the
racist joke that Don told before he left.
Damn, I would have liked to hear that one. But for me, I just think he's one of those quarterbacks where I liken him to Joe Burrow. He was somewhere, they said fizzled out at Washington State, but he had to go somewhere else. And he had a career where it looked like he was going to do good. Then it was like, he might not be as good as we think he is. And he's kind of grown and matured from that. Like, when you give me a Shedeur Sanders, I like his style. I like his play. I believe in his ability. But his maturity level is not where he's an entitled rich kid. You know what I'm saying? He's an entitled rich kid, and he's going to act like an entitled rich kid. Well, how's he supposed to act?
That's actually a great point, because a lot of people don't understand that. Because someone was telling me, and I thought it was funny. He's like, well, Sanders is one of those, those inner city kids that is making good. I was like, you understand how much money Dion has? You understand?
He's a millionaire before he goes to the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just following a dream. He doesn't need this dream to set his family up. His family's already good, and financially.
It's like, I'm not comparing the two, but it's like Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was a rich kid.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Manziel's dad still is worth millions of dollars. So Johnny Manziel had money in college and even before he went to the pros.
That documentary on him was very, very good.
That
I actually felt sorry.
I don't feel sorry for people that waste their talent. I mean, I know, but
Well, the thing was he was dropped in something that most people would. It take a strong person not to, suck all that in and.
Oh no, I'm not saying
I do whatever I want.
But you literally can do we're not going to get into Johnny Manziel, but I'm like saying Johnny Manziel was another kid that had money. Sanders, another kid has money. So you're right. It's almost like an entitlement.
Right. The talent is there. If we got him, I wouldn't be like, oh my God. My nervousness would be about him. New York never sleeps. There's so much for him to get into. Like I've always wondered why the Giants were such a conservative team when they picked people and they didn't want people with no baggage, is because they know their town and they know there's too much for you to get into. If you can control yourself in Tallahassee, you ain't gonna control yourself in New York City. So I get it. I get it now.
Yeah, it's funny though, but back in the 50s and the 60s and even parts of the 70s when the Giants were good, they had players that enjoyed the NFL lifestyle, the NFL in New York lifestyle. Even going back to Joe Namath, Frank Gifford was known for being out at the club until all hours of the morning. You had guys on the team that understood the lifestyle, but then they came on the field and they played. But I think in today's day and age, it's a little bit different. Sometimes we have kids that are ahead of the curve in reference to what they think their ability is, but then they run into the harsh reality when they actually hit the field because they're like, well, wait a minute, I can't just use my natural ability against NFL players like I could against playing against UCF. Because even bad teams in the league, you still have NFL players on them.
Are you talking about Azeez Ojulari, like confidentially? Like, are you really talking about Azeez Ojulari there? It seems like because honestly, I love Azeez Ojulari as a pick. I was like, oh my God, he lasted to the second round. Yeah, I was like, oh, this was the move. This was the move. And I think it was Warren Sapp. And when it comes to Warren Sapp speaking, I either agree with him 100% or I disagree with him 100%. And he was like, yo, he only got this one pass move. And if he don't build nothing else off of it, it ain't going to work. And I was like, man, you hating. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, he is an NFL Hall of Famer. He might know what the hell he's talking about.
I was thinking of Azeez Ojulari and our other favorite player, O'Shane Ximines. And I'm also kind of thinking about this other guy that wears number 5.
The Ghost?
The Ghost.
You need to call him Power. That's what you need for him. Ghost.
I'm thinking of Ghost Power because, like I said, when he came out of Oregon, and I've said this before, you heard the rumors, you heard the speculations that he took plays off, that he took games off, that he was lazy. And I didn't believe it. I was one of the guys. I wanted to draft Kayvon. I also wanted to take White, the linebacker, because I said you could fix your defense by doing, taking.
Why? Because he's white?
Yes. If his name was black, I wouldn't want him.
But if he was white, but named black, it works.
Then I wanted him. But literally, he's a guy that when we came into the league, he's another one of these guys that came in with, I'm going to get 16 sacks. I'm going to get a sack a game. And I kept telling people, if he doesn't do that and he's being this boisterous and he's being this arrogant and he's only a rookie, it's going to come back and haunt his ass. And then last year he had 2 bad games in the beginning of the year, and he's basically called out the fans and the media. Then he went on a little bit of a run. Then the last 7 games of the season, he was basically nowhere. And then he again came after the fans and the media. And it's like, okay, but if you would develop your talents, and one of the things that James and I have always talked about with Kayvon is if you watch him, and you've watched him now the last two years and a quarter,
you could find him.
His rush, the majority of the time, is too wide. He's always being taken out of the play by the tackle by pushing him towards the sideline. He doesn't cut. We've talked about use a swim move, cut it back in. And then when he was getting his sacks last year, that's what he was doing. He was keeping his rush into the middle of the field. He was cutting on the inside of the tackle. He wasn't looping around and being pushed out of the play to the sideline. And it was one of these guys with Kayvon after that first year. You looked at him and you looked at his pass rush ability and you were kind of like, listen, he's got to come up with something else. Because it was easy for the league to figure out, just push him to the sideline because that's where you can redirect him to. I personally don't think, and I thought maybe with Brian Burns coming in, he would learn a little bit something besides a sack dance, which we've barely seen. I would think he would have learned some type of moves because I think Burns has more of a repartee in reference to his pass rushing moves, but I think that's all he does. He doesn't play the run well. He's not going to be a guy that's going to go out in coverage. He doesn't hold the edge well. He doesn't maintain his assignments on the run. That's why we're always seeing everyone run off tackle. But I just don't see, I didn't see anything that Burns could do kind of matriculate into what Kayvon needs to do.
We really doubled down on the same type of player, in my opinion. That draft,
only than a Wando Robinson a year later.
Yeah, that draft, I really wanted Hutchinson. I'm a Michigan fan, obviously, but Hutchinson's doing what I thought he would do in the NFL, be a force. He's a force. And the sad thing with Kayvon Thibodeau is, and it happens in every draft, and I don't even blame Joe Shane for this one, because even when I go back and look at the draft, it's like, he kind of had to draft Kayvon at 5 based on, projections and all that. But unfortunately, all of the negative stereotypes of why people didn't want to draft him ended up becoming true. Like, the first thing I was worried about was he was worried about his marketing, how he was going to be marketed in New York. Let's focus on your job first. It's like you walk into your job like, yo, where's the break room? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, focus on getting the job right first. And all that, him being lazy and taking plays off, it didn't take long for us to call him a Casper-friendly pass rusher because we see it. It's like, damn, they warned us. It's like you see that good-looking girl, you're like, yo, man, I want to go talk to her. And people know about it, like, dude, you trust me, you don't want to talk to her. You want her to not give you her number. And then you get her number, you deal with her, and you be like, I get it. I get it. I had to find out on my own. I should have left it alone. And like, we're here now, and I've gone on the different pages and said, hey, it's time to have the conversation. Is Thibodeau a bust? 11.5 sacks. Okay.
And
forward and like, yeah, I was like,
we're getting 4 games.
Yeah, I'm like, you got to realize there's a difference between, like, Lawrence Taylor had games where he had 0 sacks, but he's still a damn force. You know what I'm saying? He's still a force. He controls which way your offense does things. That's not Kayvon Thibodeau.
And some of Kayvon Thibodeau's sacks, we've talked about this, have come in points of the game where the game was over. Like James and I were at the Seattle game, and I believe he had 2 sacks that game. I don't remember exactly, but I remember he had 1 sack, I think, like in the first 2.5 minutes. And then he had another sack with 2 minutes left, and we were already losing the game by 20. So it's one of those things that you know, and it's like the Jet game. They always talk about all the sacks he had the Jet game, but we lost that game. And if you remember, one of the plays that Darnold made, was it Darnold or Zach Wilson? I don't remember. I don't even fucking remember.
Oh, wow. I think that was Zach Wilson.
I think it was Zach Wilson. One of the plays that was made by the Jets in that rain, if you remember, it was one of the passes by Zach Wilson at the end, towards the end of the game, where he ran away from Kayvon Thibodeau on that last drive. And I clearly remember him rolling out to the right and Kayvon Thibodeau trailing like 4 yards behind. And it's like, okay, if you are the guy, if you are the finisher, if you are the guy that's going to, is going to end the game, could you imagine Lawrence Taylor not making that play? And that's what I tell people.
Nowhere in the world.
Could you imagine?
Nowhere in the world. That quarterback would put it like this. If Lawrence Taylor was getting blocked like that, Lawrence Taylor pushes the quarterback into the running back and stops the play.
He throws the quarterback into the running back.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen to
I
Lawrence.
will never forget the Lawrence Taylor game at home versus the Saints. He literally grabbed, and Reuben Mays was a big running back. He literally grabbed Saints running back Reuben Mays, and they always show this on the highlights, grabbed him by his jersey while he was running full speed away from Lawrence Taylor. He grabbed him by his jersey, and Taylor just threw him to the ground like he was a rag doll. And I was like, how does a man one-handedly just throw a running back in full stride to the ground?
Every time I think about that defense, I was like, if they would have just listened to Bill Parcells that 1 year, we had the best offensive line ever. That 1 year after where they wanted to grab Bill Parcells wanted to get Reggie White.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, let's go get Reggie White. And they're like, nah, I forget who I think we went offensive lineman again.
Yep. Mr. Jackson with Super Chat. I'm sorry. I saw that. I want to make sure I got it. I remember the Tom Coughlin exit speech, and I lose hope in this organization again. That Tom Coughlin exit speech, and we're trying to get into the Giants here because I got to leave soon. That Tom Coughlin exit speech, if you actually listen to that speech, I mean, there was that poignant moment where he's looking at Eli Manning and he's saying, Eli Manning, it's not your fault. You know, because Eli took that so hard about what happened with Tom Coughlin. He kept Coughlin told him, he goes, I'm looking at Eli right now, and I could see in his face that he thinks it's your fault. And he goes, it's not your fault. And just the way that entire speech went, it was just kind of the whole dichotomy of the way the Giants were at that point in time. It kind of still are. And then when he walks off the stage and basically just doesn't even look at Mara, doesn't even shake his hand, he just walks away. I was like, I will always remember like that, because that was kind of, I'm not going to say an embarrassment for Coughlin, but that was an embarrassment for the Giant organization.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that this coach who gave you 2 Super Bowls that you kind of just threw to the curb, and some people will tell you it was time, but you kind of just pushed him off to the curb.
Not 1 Super Bowl. How many?
2.
There are organizations that haven't even been to one. Yeah. He's got you to. And that was a total. Again, I always say the curse of Odell Beckham. It is a curse of Tom Coughlin, and he's somebody who, for me, I couldn't stand him when he first came. He's too conservative. And once they had that meeting and got everything good, he was a player's coach and a no-nonsense coach. And you can do both. You can do both because you get respect. And to get 2 Super Bowls from teams that no one thought was going to be in the Super Bowl in the beginning of the season, it was amazing. And it was like, why do you get rid of him? That's why the Steelers are a good organization. They keep Mike Tomlin around. They keep him around. He's got 1 Super Bowl and they keep him.
All he does is make the playoffs
every year. And it's like, you knew Tom Coughlin wasn't dealing with weapons. I think we went out and got a lot of weapons that 1 year. It's like, wow, now you go in free agency and get something. You know, Tom Coughlin was he was a great Giant.
They went out and spent all that money on snacks, on the Jackrabbit, on Olivier Vernon. Yeah, you're right. They went out and fixed the defense. And then all of a sudden Tom Coughlin's like, well, wait a minute, you guys decided to fix the fucking defense the year I leave?
Dummies. Where's the loyalty? Where's the loyalty?
I have a question for you, and I hear this a lot, and I hear this from Cowboy fans, and I hear this from Giant fans about Cowboy fans, that all the Cowboys do is just, win divisions and make the playoffs, but they don't do anything. And they won 6 division titles since 2014. They've only had 2 losing seasons since 2000, that 12-4 2014 season. And yes, they do have a propensity of not winning in the playoffs, but only a certain number of teams win in the playoffs every year. As a Giant fan, the way that it's been since 2014, would you accept like a Cowboy-like run where you went 12-4, 4-12, 13-3, 9-7, 10-6, 8-8, 10-6, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, and won the division 3 years in a row since 2001? Would you accept that, or would you rather just have what the Giants have been since 2014?
Wow. That's a tough question. Losing is losing. I guess I can say that like this: losing is losing. Even if, why not get some division cred? Why not get, because you get banners for divisions and stuff like that. I'd rather be having a winning record, not going anywhere, than just sitting here wondering man, who's our quarterback? We have been a team of no one knows what the F we're doing. No one.
No.
Every year you have analysts and GMs like just scratching their head like, I have no idea what you're doing. And we don't do this stuff for a living, so our opinions don't matter as much. They listen to Tim and Tawan and James, things would be a lot better than what they are. Just being honest.
They know.
Because we've already put this stuff out there, but I'll take the Cowboys run. Honestly, I'll take that Cowboys run.
And that's what I get, and that's what I think, that if Giant fans are just so sullen against the Cowboys, like, well, they don't win anything. They never win in the playoffs. Here's a funny thing. They make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And isn't at the end of the day, it always is about winning a Super Bowl, winning a championship. But you can't win if you don't actually get there.
Nope.
Last tough question I have.
Okay, that was a different. I like it.
I like giving out these doozy of a questions because you know what, I'm trying to get into more of this this more professional manner that people say that I'm not. I'm now using my announcer voice.
Okay.
Now betting for the Yankees, steroid user Roger Clemens.
I always wanted to be Bob Shepard too, but Brian Flores.
Oh,
Brian Flores has turned this defense around in Minnesota. For all the success that you see with Sam Darnold, you can't overlook, and I'm just talking about how Van Ginkel had picked off Rodgers' pass and returned it 63 yards for a touchdown. You have a guy that is the defense was good last year in Minnesota. They've added some players, but they also still have a lot of older guys on this team because there's guys in their secondaries that are 497 years old. Right now, the way that this Minnesota team is playing, it's just the defense is almost a championship caliber style defense. And you saw what Flores did in Miami, and the players kind of revolted around him a little bit because of what he did to Tua. But then now you kind of look at what Tua's becoming and is. Was Flores really wrong about the fact that, hey, listen, we may not be able to win with this guy because this guy really can't stay on the fucking field. And he was a guy that, yes, he took less talent, I believe, in Miami and won with them. I don't think the current Miami coach, I don't think it's a Steve Kerr, Mark Jackson situation where Mark Jackson built the team, got phased out, and then Kerr came in and took the credit. I think Flores won with guys, and he had that bad run where he lost like the first 7 games or whatever, but then they finished 8-8 or whatever it was. But he's always been this guy that, yeah, he's a little boisterous, he's a little truculent, he rubs people the wrong way, but all he does everywhere he goes is win. And I keep thinking about when the Giants decided to go with Brian Daboll over Flores. And I wanted Flores because I thought the Giants needed a no-nonsense asshole to come in here and just basically fucking say, do your job, do it well, because we don't win. We got to try something different instead of the touchy-feely, hey, I'm Gen Z, I'm Gen Y. I have to understand your emotions to understand how you play the game. Would you, looking at what's happening now, and you can kind of go back in time, would you have taken Flores if you were, if you were Joe Schoen?
Oh my gosh! Whatever Joe Schoen would do, I'd probably do the opposite. But to be honest, Brian Flores, I'm definitely taking Brian Flores. I definitely believed in Brian Flores, and it was. Don't get me wrong, I didn't mind Daboll. I was like Daboll or Flores, I was cool. But the thing about Flores was that it is hard to take a team that is a low record, and it looks like they're completely out of it, and turn that team around. Did they even squeak into the playoffs that year?
I don't remember.
I know they had a winning record. I know they ended up with a winning record. But when you have a team and you could take that team from looking like one of the worst teams and turn them now and go on a 7-game winning streak?
They were 9-8. They were 6-10 and 9-8 and 5-11.
Yeah.
But they did not make the playoffs. Now, also what people need to remember on that 9-8 team, that's also the season that they traded everybody away.
And here's the thing. coaches who can inspire, like coaching isn't just X and O's sometimes. You have to be able to inspire these players to get more out of themselves. The coaches that do that are coaches like play the Tom Coughlin bit. I'm going to put my chips in the middle. Coaches who can do that and ride and bet on that team, those are the type of coaches, that Tom Coughlin type coach, they're going to be able to get it in there. That was a, what you call, no, that wasn't Tom Coughlin. That was Fossil. Yeah, but coaches that can do that.
Wait, here we go.
I'm raising the stakes right
Yes. Loved it.
now. The poker game, I'm shoving my chips to the middle of the table. I'm raising the ante. Anybody wants in, get in. Anybody wants out, can get out.
People forget that's like one of the ballsiest moments in
Yes.
and then to go to the Super Bowl.
And and that's the thing. You can inspire 53 men. And you can get 80% of the 53 to really inspire and inspire each other. You're doing something. And you see, nobody had Minnesota doing anything this year. Look, thinking like this. Some people thought we were going to win that first game. I said, no, we're not. No, we're not. Oh, yeah, JJ's not playing. We're going to say we can't beat Sam Darnold. Surprise, they got a defense.
Yeah.
Surprise, they got two really good wide receivers. Really good wide receivers. Surprise, they got all these things that they plan on using. And we lose. So I think Brian Flores is an amazing coach. I think he's showing it. And I think his race probably had a little bit to do with holding him back with some people or some franchises, because you can be black and be a coach, but don't be boisterous. Just be, more of a I'm about to say Tubby Smith, but damn, is that his name? For coach of I can't remember his name. Tony Dungy. To be more of a Tony Dungy type of coach. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's just his personality. No nonsense. Play the line, and there's nothing wrong with Tony Dungy. Paved the way for a lot of these coaches. But for you just want to be able to speak your mind and be fiery about what you're about, like a Harbaugh, and not be, criticized. Because even Harbaugh got slapped, when he was going through things in San Francisco, because you're dealing with people who are in very big, powerful positions, and the last thing they want you to do is challenge them in their authority. And it's a lot of egos involved. So, it happens, but I think he's showing that he's one hell of a coach. And unfortunately for us, I think he's going to get a job next year, but I don't think he'll ever come to us now.
I laugh because if you go back into the annals of history in reference to black head coaches, and I always land on Dennis Green. Dennis Green, people forget, won 113 games. He last coached as a head coach in 2006 at 57 years old. But those last 3 years in Arizona, he became, to your point in some regards, he became more of a boisterous coach.
Mm-hmm.
You
want to crown him.
Yeah, you think of the sound effects, they are who we thought they were. He became more boisterous. He became more, I don't want to say a problem for NFL owners, but he just wasn't that guy that he was in Minnesota when he was.
And he wasn't producing.
And he wasn't producing, but he wasn't producing for 3 years on a bad Arizona team. But he never, after he started becoming a little bit more boisterous during and after that 2006 season, he never sniffed another head coaching job again at 57 years old.
Mm-mm.
So
we all saw him have a meltdown. That's the first time I've really seen a meltdown like that. It was like, man, the Bears were who we thought they were. We let them off I'm like, bro, you are really, like, it's over. The game is literally over. But he was, and it hurts to lose those close games. Right. It hurts to lose those close games.
But here's the point I'm going at. It's around the same time frame. Watch this. Mm-hmm. Then you got Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil, a very honest guy, cries at the drop of a hat, and cries during press conferences, cries during wins, cries during losses. A very emotional guy. Very emotional guy. He's got his basically his second and third head coaching chance. He did win his Super Bowl, but even after 11 years out of the league, he was able to come in and get another job. Even after he had the big meltdown in Philly when he left.
But I think I think Dick Vermeil's meltdown a lot of times emotional is more empathetic and not aggressive towards people. I don't remember the how he went off in Philly, so I can't really speak to it.
Oh
But
yeah, he had the big burn. Well, yeah, that's old people remember that. He had the
yeah,
big burnout speech in Philadelphia.
yeah, I don't remember that one, but I just know when he was with the Rams and everything, it's like he's a player's coach, and he looks like somebody who puts everything into it, including his emotions. But I never really seen him like lashing out at people or people like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? But some people be like, man, toughen up. But I just think it's not that he's not tough. It's just he ain't got no problem just saying, hey, I'm broken down and this hurts. I put it all in there and this hurts. You know what I'm saying?
Cutthroat with the super chat says Giant fans talk the most with little to show. We do talk a lot. I can't fault that statement. We do talk a lot, and we do talk a lot about things, and it's always about the quarterback and this and that. But then I get worried that that we just kind of reach a point that we got to stop talking and we got to start and we got to start winning something.
If the team would give us something good to talk about, I promise you these conversations would change.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I gotta head out of here because I gotta do something at noon, and I also get the Mets at 3. And I think there's a Giant game sometime.
Hey, good luck there. Hey, I got the Lakers this year, so it looks like I got Michigan and the Lakers. It looks like sports is going to be a down year for this guy.
And I got the Knicks preseason opener in Charlotte tonight. Gonna be at the Nick game on Wednesday with Big El Gigante. So make sure we're not sitting on the court where we are the row behind courtside, right under the basket. So for the players bench. So I'll hold up a sign that says, here we are, and wave along.
Yeah, we'll be there.
So the Knicks are going. So like I said, listen, I'm good now.
Yeah,
I'm good now. As long as the Giants can keep losing and push us into the first overall pick, I'll be fine because I got the Knicks and the Mets.
Yeah. They'll probably mess up the pick anyway if Joe's picking.
If Joe's picking, they probably will. Let's go, Knicks. Don't forget to get the new Nick podcast coming out tomorrow. So make sure everything on stay tuned to that. I want to thank T. Brad. I want to thank Big Don. I want to thank James for not showing up. And this is Tim. I don't know where James is. He's busy. And everything else is going on, guys. We're out of here. Let's go, Mets. Let's go, Knicks. And let's go, Giants. Peace.
Peace.